Today I'm going to talk with my homeboy, Antonio Morales, who covers USC for The Athletic, about Bryce Young, USC, and what to make of all of this, and all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kid folk? It's RJ Young. I'm not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today we're going to talk with Antonio Morales, who covers USC for The Athletic. Let's take a listen. I'm here with The Athletic's USC reporter, my homie, Antonio. You know him as Antonio Morales on the Twitters. He's verified. I'm not. That's because he's big time, and I'm not. Antonio, what's up, man?
How's it going, RJ? How's everything going, man?
It's going, bro. It's been a long time since SJI. I think Mr. Carter and the gang would be very proud of us.
Yeah, no, I think so too.
So what do you think about the Graham Harrell hire? Do you think it's working out? Do you think it's what Clay Helton needed to do?
Yeah, I think it's what Clay Helton needed to do, just in terms of leaning into USC's strengths offensively. I know they've had some attrition at receiver this offseason, but those were guys who are kind of seldom used. They returned their top 4 receivers from last year. They brought in some talented tight ends in this 2019 recruiting cycle. So the pass catchers are their strength. They have a talented young quarterback in JT Daniels. I know he struggled last year, but there's still some promise there. So I think just in terms of how the offense is built right now, people kind of associate USC with, student body right, pro style offense. But the offensive line hasn't been that great, so it's kind of hard to run that offense when they aren't getting the blocking for it really, and they haven't been a power running team in a while. So I think this is kind of what fits their personnel and fits their talents the best.
Now, and that's interesting because I wasn't sure what they were recruiting to in 2019, especially when, Clay basically blew up the offensive staff. So with JT Daniels very much entrenched as the quarterback, and he's extremely talented, former 5-star, and he is not shy about throwing into tight windows. I was excited, as most people were, for Cliff Kingsbury to become the offensive coordinator, and then he bolted, and all of a sudden we're talking about USC in dumpster fire mode. So what do we make of the 33-day stretch that Kingsbury was the offensive coordinator, and what is the salvage going forward?
I mean, obviously, right off the bat, everybody thought, oh, this is a home run hire. This guy was going to be coveted by NFL teams. He was the hottest, coach, coordinator candidate on the market, the hottest offensive mind. He kind of had that Hollywood charisma that everybody kind of wants out here in LA. They want excitement. And last year, USC's offense wasn't exciting at all. It was stagnant, and it was.
You said it, I didn't.
There's nothing really going on with it. I mean, it was, I think it was 91st in scoring offense. And these are fans that are used to, prolific offenses back to Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart, Lendale White, those guys. So that wasn't something they're really used to. And with a renovated Coliseum opening next year, Cliff Kingsbury was something that could excite that fan base. But obviously he left, and instead of a home run, it looked like a swing and a miss after 33 days. And USC they took a lot of time with this coordinator search. It was 20 days, and this was in the midst of finishing up the second half, essentially, of this recruiting cycle. You saw Brew McCoy left. In between then, who knows?
That's massive, right? Because it was him and Kyle Ford that committed and then eventually signed on national TV. And I was thinking that, Brew's basically been a USC commit since he was in diapers. I mean, this is a guy that had the USC jersey in his closet. So for him to leave was like peak level of three alarm fire, excuse me. And I was going, what is going on that this dude 3 weeks after signing is like, you know what? I'm going to Texas. This is terrible.
It was just really bad optics, especially when you follow that with the Kings. When that was followed, that followed the Kingsbury departure. Because I know a little bit after it happened, I was walking on campus. I was working at a USC's media room. I saw Brew walking around on campus. So this was the week before those rumors came out. I was like, oh, maybe everything's fine. And then a week later, you start hearing those rumblings of he's looking to transfer. So that was shocking, especially when his best friend's on the team. He played with him and Ross St. Brown, and obviously Bryce Young, the quarterback he caught passes from this past season in high school, is committed to USC right now. So there's a lot of ties. You're like, oh, Brew's going to be. I think everybody kind of thought Brew was the lock, and he was the one that was going to stay no matter what happened. And then all of a sudden he's gone, and that was pretty shocking, and especially that it happened after 18 days. Was just really bad optics for that USC program.
Well, I mean, and that's kind of like I said, that was the one for me, which I was like, oh, this is terrible. So, Bryce Young is also an OU prospect, like an OU target for Lincoln Riley and the staff. And the offense that they run down there at Mater Dei seems to be tailored to what Bryce Young can do and what he can do at Oklahoma. So him committing over the summer to USC instead of OU was a big deal. And it makes a lot of sense, him being from the area, the USC connections, California, those sorts of things. But I was beginning to wonder and reach out and talk to some folks around the program about, hey, is Bryce still locked in? Because you looked at the 2020 recruiting class, and it's him, it's Coy Moore, right, 4-star wide receiver, and a kicker. So I was going, do you want to be the dude responsible for helping to build out this 2020 class without an offensive coordinator, depending on who they got? And they got a guy that I think they'd be very excited about, so that's great. But you still got to build out around this, and I just wonder if Graham Harrell can do it. I know he's at Washington State as outside wide receiver, so he's been in the Pac-12, outside wide receivers coach, excuse me. He's been in the Pac-12, and he's got the same lineage as Cliff Kingsbury. But do you think this is enough to not just lock up Bryce Young, but to reignite this fan base about, okay, we're going to go air raid, we're going to throw the ball around?
Obviously, I don't think it's the splash that Kingsbury was. Harrell doesn't kind of carry that same name or hype around with him, but I think the fan base is pleased with the hire. It's like USC didn't settle for really anybody. I think this was the best realistic scenario that they probably could have come up with after the Kingsbury situation. Right. Just in terms of, hey, this is a bright young offensive mind, and it looks like USC is trying to hire somebody that's creative instead of going after somebody that's kind of mundane or more traditional. It looks like it gives off the appearance USC sees the direction that football is going in and is trying to kind of get with the times, essentially. Because I know the student body, the pro-style offense has been something that this fan base has clung on to for a while. And the fact that USC is kind of distancing itself from, that offense with first Kingsbury and now Harrell, I think gets the fans a little excited. In terms of recruiting, for a long time, I think this was the interesting part with Brew is USC's been kind of able to recruit itself. Right. And then this year has been kind of a slip. I think they're 17th nationally right now per the 247 Sports Composite. They're second in the Pac-12. If they finish 17th, that'll be the lowest they finished in the recruiting rankings this internet era.
All right, that's it for me. Deuces.